As we move on, that special reunion of Hey Hey last night hit the headlines around the world for the wrong reasons. As we spoke to Peter Stefanovic out of Los Angeles, it's been blogged about in America, where so many people were offended by the skit called the Jackson Jive. Now, if you missed it, have a look.
Can you feel it? It's in the air. The wind is ticking everywhere. Yeah. Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Oh.
Well, is there any redeeming, would you give them just for turning up? Perhaps a 2 or 3 or 4?
Man, if they turned up looking like that in the United States... Oh, yeah.
You're right. You're right, actually. So we'll just keep it at a 0.
Like, hey, there's no more show. And the last thing I want to do is take the show, like, to a real, you know, kind of a down level, because I love, you know how much I love this show in this country, but I feel like I'm at home here, and if I knew that was going to be a part of the show, I definitely wouldn't have done it.
Offensive, political correctness gone wrong. To discuss it this morning, I'm joined by media commentator Prue McSween. Good morning, Prue. 2GB Drive presenter Jason Morrison. Welcome back, Jason. And Vince Sorrenti joins us on a regular basis. Good morning. Oh, boy, has this caused a stir? It is making waves now in the United States. To see if it makes mainstream, we have to wait and see. Prue, your view?
Much ado about nothing. I'm really sick of the thought police telling us how we should think. You know, I just feel that this is Australia, we're larrikins, this is our humour, and how anyone could be offended by this, I fail to see. In fact, I had a little friend that I bought on purpose when I saw this in the Blue Mountains once, and I thought, this is what I grew up with, and we've got to the stage now where children can't accept that there are some people who are black and there are some are white. And I don't find it offensive that I own one of these, and I would give this to a little child. I just think, let's get a grip.
Vince?
Oh, well, I have to partially agree with Prue, but the point was that that show was going to the US, and you know, the most powerful man in the world is now a black man, and as Harry Connick Jr. said on that show, they've worked very hard to break that stereotype. Look, I saw the skit, I wasn't really, you know, it didn't have any redeeming features. Like, the only joke in it was that, hey, Michael Jackson was once black and now he's white. That was its only redeeming, comical quality.
Do you think the whole team...
If Harry Connick Jr. hadn't said anything, we wouldn't have a story today.
That's right.
And look, it was designed for a University Review skit 20 years ago, and now it's being seen by the entire world. That's the problem. It's the juxtaposition.
But the point is, I think the reason they had them on is because they were medical students 20 years ago. They did the skit and they could actually find them all to do it again.
Not one of those, actually only one of those guys, by the way, is white. I just heard them on the radio. There's a Lebanese, Italian, there's a Greek, there's
really?
an Indian, the white guy is an Indian Aussie.
Your view, Jason?
That's great, that's fantastic information. This was a nostalgia show. Now, let's say they'd gone in isolation, taken out clips of all the funny things, as they have done over the years, of Hey Hey It's Saturday, and relived it, there'd be nothing about it. You're right, it's because Harry barked up about it. He was covering his backside because he knew that YouTube would take this to the world. And that little highlight thing that we just saw coming into the segment is possibly more than will be on YouTube. It'll be, this was the outrageous thing that Harry judged. He had to cover his hide. And so we're talking about it because Harry...
As it happened live,
do you think he was genuine?
I think he was genuine. They do have a different view. I think the nostalgia you've nailed, but the very fact we do have a sense of humour, and it was a revisit, a retro.
True. And it's different to American sense of humour. I mean, Hey Hey It's Saturday, it was on a bloody Wednesday night.
Mate, we're just as bad. We're just as bad. A week ago we had a controversy about push bike riders being offended by a joke. We're just as bad. It's just the sensitivity.
Why are we tiptoeing around these things when we allow violence, our children, to see violence and have, you know, sexual acts performed in you know, children's television time? I just think it's absurd. We've got our priorities all wrong.
But the very fact this will now be viewed around the world, as Jason has pointed out, in isolation. They won't actually get the historical.
I think
no, I've got to say, I think we have to care, Prue.
Why?
Because, you know, the planet, we rely on a lot of people's views, and I actually care how other people view us, and I need the whole story told.
We are such a tolerant society. We embrace all sorts of races here, and I just think think we can hold our head up very proudly. I don't think we need to be ashamed.
Jason?
I'm with Prue. I mean, we give money to countries that hate us. You know, fair dinkum. They want to criticise us. And if you want to take things in isolation, I'll go through and, you know, pick out bits and pieces of the sewer that America pumps out on its airways and present it back with some of the things it should be answerable to.
Yeah, we're not a tolerant nation. And I think the whole...
We're not.
No, listen, the word tolerate, I think, is an insult in itself. We tolerate, we put up with these people. You know, we have to tolerate.
Embraced them. We do embrace people.
Look,
I think, gosh, and we give them so much welfare, we give them so much support when they come here.
I'm all for people having a sense of humour, and I'm all for making jokes, but we have to accept the fact that somewhere along the line, someone got offended there. And
tolerant.
No, I say we are tolerant, but we often hide behind that word. Like the word tolerate, like you put up with it like a boil on your bum. Yeah, I'll tolerate that, but I can't wait to get rid of it. You know?
I don't think it's tolerate.
You tolerate problems. You don't tolerate good things.
Hang on, we lost the plot here. A couple of fellas dressed up like Prue's gollywog were on television. We're talking about Australia and its tolerance. They're not in the same territory.
That's why we're on the show, mate. This created a big furor.
See, this is going... I'll give you back your gollywog. This is going off into another tangent altogether. This was about the questionable judgment of maybe a couple of producers who sat around and thought, gee, is this the right thing to bring back as a nostalgia show? And we're making a discussion about whether
it's a small deal. These guys are mortified they've offended people. I mean, I heard them on the radio this morning. The 6 of the nicest. They're all doctors. They're all quite learned, intelligent individuals.
People.
They're mortified by the fact that someone's taken offence. And it's the juxtaposition. It was a joke.
Fun.
It was fun too, but someone got offended.
Okay, what had happened? Let's get back to basics. It's retro fun. The whole story is not going to be told around the world. The whole story, the fact that these guys appeared 20 years ago. We do have a larrikin sense of humour. But would it have happened if Harry Connick Jr. was not on the panel?
No, it would have been, we're irreverent, we have fun, this is what Australian humour is all about.
And I agree with that, Prue. I'm not arguing about that. I believe you can say and do anything about any issue, but it's got to have some redeeming value. I didn't think that routine had a lot of
it wasn't as funny as it could have been.
It wasn't. But what was the gag? Yeah, now he's white, he used to be black.
The big mistake was Harry having Connick on. He couldn't even sing in tune. That was a big mistake.
We've just got another email. Hi, Kerry Ann. This is from Shay. Good morning, Shay. Living and working overseas at the moment. It doesn't mention where. I'm reading this, Cole. I've been defending Australia all morning to co-workers about racist attitudes in Australia, an increasingly common comment by people visiting Australia in the past few years. Such an act would never have made it to air overseas for all the right reasons.
Sol Trujillo said a very similar thing too, and he went back to the States.
Let them stay over there and let us do what suits us.
Just because a cartoonist put a Mexican hat on his head in the Fin Review. Vince, thank you very much for joining us. Jason, as always, Prue, it's lovely to see. And
to anyone watching around the world, stop, yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that what you want to
now
say?
that's just going to make YouTube.